Well, it's about speaking your truth. It's about walking in your truth, knowing who you are, being confident in who you are, and knowing that sometimes people will not like what you're saying, and you're going to catch hell for it. But if you are confident, if you know what you are saying is the truth, and you can back it up, then you shake off those flames and you keep it moving. Because there are people who need to hear what you're saying, who love to hear what you're saying. And what you're saying is giving them energy, strength, and empowering them to also raise their voices. That's it. Hey, today is December the 1st, and this is World AIDS Day. And it's the day when we think about those that we have lost to AIDS. We also think about ways on addressing the stigma attached to living with HIV and AIDS. And this day has always been a bittersweet day for me because it's wrong, but I have been tuning this day out. I've been not tuning it out, but there's a lot of pain for me when it comes to World AIDS Day, because I think about a lot of the different people I've met along the way who have lost their lives to AIDS or complication of AIDS. I think about all the great people I've met over the years while being an advocate for those living with HIV and AIDS. That's what led me to write the book. Man, I had a whole lot of things prepared because this is the first time that I've actually really talked about World AIDS Day and its impact on my life in years. I think about when I first realized how big this issue was in the Black community, and it started from day one in 2002. That was the year that I graduated with my BSW degree. My first real job in social work was working as an HIV and AIDS caseworker or social worker. And I was working in a program called the Ryan White program. And it's the program to help those who are living with HIV and AIDS, to help them pay for everything, housing and transportation and doctor visits and all of that. And my first day at work was when I realized that this is a big deal in our community. For first day at work, I seen what death looks like. And for some people, it's very lonely. My first client was a young person who was 18 years old, was found unresponsive under a bridge, and brain dead. They were living with AIDS, didn't take care of themselves, but she was transgender. She was of color. She was Black. Her family disowned her. Her church disowned her. No one wanted to see her as she took her last breaths. And I had no idea who she was. My coworker was an HIV and AIDS assistant caseworker, and she was listed as next of kin because she was the only person that cared for this young lady. And I don't know why she decided to make this my first trip, my first day. So we get into, I go see this client, and she's brain dead. and we're going to say goodbye. And again, my first day at work, I didn't know this young lady, and my coworker held her hand, combed her hair for her, kissed her on the cheek, and told the doctor it's time. And they turned off the machine that kept her breathing, and she passed away. She stopped breathing. I never witnessed death before. I've never seen death before. I was not young. I was in my mid-20s. This is 2002, so I was close to 30, I think. And I witnessed a person die, and I was so angry. I was like, God, somebody has to say something. Somebody has to do something. I was angry. And like many times we ask God for somebody, God says that person is already here. You do something. So I made it my thing to learn everything I could about HIV and AIDS. After I left, that job was hard because I witnessed, again, this was 2002. I witnessed multiple things, clients dying, clients lonely, those who were, even if they were not gay, that stigma with HIV was still there. Because in the church, in the church's interest, especially the black church, if somebody has cancer, somebody's dealing with something, the entire church helps. But if that person has HIV or AIDS, I know at that time, they were in it alone. So I decided to write a book. I decided to start using this phrase, the church has AIDS. Because if one person in your church has HIV and AIDS, the entire church need to come together and love on that person and feel as though we are one. And the first thing I had to do was break that barrier down. So I made that my banner. I made that my call. I made that my pledge since 2002. And I think, again, I haven't talked about this issue for years. And I know that's selfish of me because there's a lot of pain, because I think about all the great people. I met so many people who I love dearly, who were living at the time, living with HIV and AIDS. And they were some great, phenomenal people. I would never forget one of the things I did. I was working with a group here in Kansas City. This is around, I don't know, 2007, 2008, 2009, sometime around then. I don't remember, Lord Jesus. And we did this, we put together this thing called Agape Cafe. And Agape Cafe, we wanted to bring black clergy, men, black male heterosexual clergy, bring it together with black gay men and have a conversation. And that was something that my pastor at the time put it up on me to put that together. So we put different groups together. We had food, and it was like you could cut the tension with a knife in that room. And one of the guys I never forget, he was always well dressed. He was living with AIDS. He didn't have his ascots. He used to wear ascots. And I remember he was like, you know what? I'm going to break this tension. And he broke it. He started talking. They started talking about the pain they felt in the church. The pastors were very receptive. At the end of the night, you can feel so much tension gone and so much healing taking place. And I was like, God, thank you. This is the reason why I speak up and speak out about this issue. And he won his battle with AIDS. He was able to go home with the Lord. Just meant he was such a phenomenal, talented person. And I think about others. I met some just wonderful people. I have more stories to tell, but I'm so blessed to have friends to remind you of stuff. And I guess in closing for me, I was also a volunteer HIV and AIDS educator for the Red Cross. And I remember I used to have a lot of these HIV and AIDS stickers. And one time my middle son got a hold of all the stickers, all the red HIV and AIDS stickers, and he put them all in the back window of the car. And so I asked him, I said, "Why did you do that, man?" And he said, "What are the stickers for, Daddy?" He was like 4 years old. And I said, "The stickers are to show those that are living with HIV and AIDS that we care." And he had tears in his eyes, and he said, "Daddy, I wanna make sure that people living with HIV and AIDS know I care." And that's just one of the most powerful things I would never remember. I mean, never forget